For those of you listening on the pod,
welcome into hour 2. Jacob's wishing he'd never said that. Shakes his head every time we play it. All right. We're going to dive into all these. And again, we've got them all pretty much covered. Actually, let me hit this real quick before we get cranked up. Mike Witt, member for 2 months. Hi, guys. Love the Packers draft. Brinson's a steal. Hey, man, there's several of those guys later in the draft. I was like, let's go. When you start to dive into it, Anthony Belton's one. And this is just how my mind fires. Like, most fans would go, oh, that's a reach. What are we thinking? That's a stupid pick. My mind immediately goes to Goody had a second-round grade on him. Like, I didn't watch the tape on all these prospects and go, here's my grade, guys. You know how we build our board. I look at that like, holy cow, this dude is better than we thought. Goody's got a second-round grade on him. He's probably going to compete for a starting job. This is exciting. So it's just all about how you look at it. And there's no right way of being a fan. I'm just saying that's the way my mind fires when I hear of a player being taken earlier than where we have him on the board. So let's get into it. The undrafted free agents here. And listen, this is not a big, long write-up. What this is just information on each player. And I picked this picture for a reason here. This is Nazir Stackhouse. We're going to get to him in a second. Look at him holding up the national championship newspaper clipping there where he won a natty back in 2023 with the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yep.
I know he didn't get drafted by the Packers, but Goody loves those national champions. There's no two ways about it.
You called that one a mile away. We talked about that a few weeks ago. I'll never forget that. And lo and behold, some more Georgia Bulldogs on this team now. I love it.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so the first one, Jacob, on the bargain bin is Mr. Jonathan Baldwin out of UNLV, cornerback. Now, listen, you guys go double-check the RASs. I didn't take the time to put the RASs in. This is just a PFF card. We've noticed all year long, have we not, guys? Most of these guys are 1 inch shorter than what PFF says. So, Jonathan Baldwin, 6'1", 200 pounds is what the card says. PFF grades, 51.8, 68.4, 65.7. Then this year, jumped all the way to a 77.9. He had a 74.2 coverage grade and a 74.3 run defense grade. This is a slot corner here, fellas. Slot corner. Look at the pass rush grade. You think they fired some nickel blitzes, some cat blitzes off the backside, 81.3. So his overall defensive grade is 77.9. What do you think about this DB out of UNLV here, Jonathan Baldwin, Jacob?
I like it a lot. If you look at obviously the defensive grade is great. The pass rush grade is great. Coverage grade, which is, I would argue, more important, 74.2. But also that 74.3 run defense grade is pretty cool. If you go and look at some of his highlights, you'll see a dude's definitely willing to throw his nose in there and get a little dirty if he has to. Obviously, slot corner is, I would argue, not a big need right now necessarily, but you're just an injury or two away, and all of a sudden you're really wishing that you had a guy like this that's maybe sitting in the hopper. So I'm not sure that where he's going to actually, if he's going to actually make it onto the 53, but absolutely gem to have on that practice squad if we can retain him.
What do you think about him, Tim? I know you're never going to complain about more defensive players added to the team, right?
Not at all. Never that. And I agree with what Jacob just said, too. It's really true. We don't know if these guys are going to make the cut or not. But at the end of the day, you never know. Guys play their way onto teams all the time during training camp. And, if this guy is one of those guys, we just got a hell of a lot deeper at the slot position, even if that's just how they choose to use him in the defense. I agree with your sentiment too, Jacob. The coverage grade is probably, more important especially when you're talking about a corner, whether you're a slot corner or not. But the fact that, he can maybe take some of the load off of a Javon Bullard, having to play that slot position as much, the potential for that just makes our secondary that much better. So I think it's a good signing for sure.
Definitely. All right. Next player. Got us some running backs. I know Emilio's grinning like a possum in a dumpster somewhere right now. Running back Amar Johnson out of South Dakota State. It was cool seeing Tucker Kraft tweet about this one. He's really, really excited about having him on.
Possum in a dumpster.
As Jacob says it best. Mike Witt with the super chat. Let me hit this real quick. Golden reminds me a lot of Greg Jennings when he came out. He's faster than Jennings, but his route running reminds me of Jennings a lot. Thoughts? I could see that. Similar build, smooth out of his breaks. Greg Jennings wasn't blazing fast like you said, right? Had good hands. I don't think he had great hands coming out of college, but he had good hands, and they ended up being great. But the thing I noticed about Greg Jennings is he knew how to change pace at the top of the stem and create separation. He was a smooth route runner. I'd be okay with Matthew Golden turning out like Greg Jennings on the field, of course, right, guys? But
Yeah,
what do you
sure.
think? Would you be all right with that?
Say again, sorry.
I said, "What?" Said Tim. What do you think? Do you see kind of a little bit of Greg Jennings in Matthew Golden?
I do, especially when you watch some of the tape on him, especially with some of that route running, and then of course one of my favorite attributes about Golden is the hands. He seems like a guy with good ball skills, or at least ball skills that are going to continue to improve. And I don't think it's off base at all for Mike to make that comparison to Greg Jennings. That's one of the things that made Jennings such a great receiver, was the ability to adjust both early and late in the route stem. So I think we might be golden with Mr. Golden here.
All right. You good with it, Jacob? Anything you want to add to the Greg Jennings comp there before we move on there?
No, I mean, yeah, obviously we love Greg and what he did. I think Matthew Golden's going to be excited to make his own legacy here. And I think that he's the type of player that will burst out pretty quickly if he's gonna.
Yep.
All right. Up next, like I said, Amar Johnson, running back. Love a good shot of a running back dragging a defender down the field. You gotta love that, right? So Amar Johnson, 5'10", 205. PFF grades were off the charts. Starting in 2021, 81.7, 77.7, 75.8, and then last year 83.5. Obviously, that's the offensive grade. His run grade, 85.6 with a 68.1 receiving grade. I think this is a guy that screams practice squad, right? And if the running back room does fall into place as Josh Jacobs, Emmanuel Wilson, Marshawn Lloyd, Chris Brooks, and you got somebody like Amar Johnson kind of sitting in the bullpen there, Jacob, I'd be all about it, man. What do you think?
Yeah, and like Drew D is highlighting that Amar Johnson had an 8.8 RAS. I've seen different schematics that say that he's more around the line of like a 210, 215, even 220. Prototypical pretty much size that Goody loves. He does look thick. Yeah, Jackrabbit there. And like you said, he grades out real well, man. I mean, not a single bad year in my opinion there. And obviously 2024, 83.5. That's pretty good. Not sure exactly where he would fit in immediately, if at all, but it's just another building depth, building the roster, building the future. And God forbid if anything were to ever happen in that room, it'd take a lot to go through all four of those guys. But I mean, we saw what happens with Lloyd last year. All of a sudden in a pinch, 1, 2, 3 games and a few guys get hurt. All of a sudden you're up the creek with no paddle. So it's nice to know that he would be a break glass and emergency type back.
Definitely. All right, up next, we got us a Kentucky boy. Yeah, Donovan Schilling pointed out that Amar Johnson got 4 snaps at quarterback. Another backup too. LOL. Hey, you never know.
You never know.
So we
picked up a receiver who can throw the ball too in the draft.
Mm-hmm. Sure did. Kentucky linebacker Jamin Dumas Johnson. I believe he transferred. You guys go fact check that if you want to. I'm thinking he was a transfer a couple years ago into Kentucky. They got pretty good at bringing in some top talent. They had like a top 15 recruiting class one year, and then all of a sudden you had some transfers come over.
Transfer out of Georgia.
Is that what it was? There you go. Yep. So the reason we mention that, guys, this is a dude that was recruited by Georgia, the national champion, Georgia Bulldogs, right? Like right around that era. So Jamin Dumas Johnson out of Kentucky, 6'1", 245. PFF grade in 2021. This is kind of odd. He's gotten worse every year, okay? 80.9, 73.8, 70.2, then last year 62.6. But keep in mind, Maxwell Harrison, his grades went backwards last year. Deion Walker, his grades went backwards last year. Same thing here with Jamin Dumas Johnson. I'm telling you, man, Kentucky was a wreck last year. They were. So Drew D points out Jamin Dumas Johnson with an 8.98 RAS. Goody said, to hell with it, man. Let's draft a couple low RAS guys, and we'll just go get the high RAS guys in undrafted free agency. So what do you think? What do you think about a little linebacker depth here, possibly for the practice squad?
Donovan Schilling. AFAM is a Dumas. I love it.
There,
No, I think it's great. We talked about Stackbacker kind of off and on throughout this process and whether or not we were going to go ahead and use a pick on one. And the fact that we didn't and picked up this guy out of Kentucky/Georgia makes me feel pretty good because it's committal without being committed, right?
Right.
Let's see what this guy can do. You can never go wrong with depth at all. Guys get hurt, especially on the defensive side of the ball. We see it all the time with linebackers, edge guys, linemen. So I love it, man. I love this move right here. Again, I use this term a lot, but it's Goody and the boys in the scouting department just doing their due diligence. And that's why they pounced on a lot of these UDFAs very quickly and very decisively. And it makes me feel really good about, you guys remember, night one of the draft, I was a little shocked that we just went offense into round 3 and was waiting for my defense. And lo and behold, we got a heavy dose of it on day 3 and now with UDFAs. And I think it's awesome.
Yeah. Anything to add, Jacob?
No, not really. I mean, he's a tidbit undersized, I guess, for what we usually do at linebacker, I guess. But there was talk that this guy was the real deal early in his career, and then obviously transferring out of Georgia. There's clearly something that happened in that Kentucky defensive room this past year. So again, I don't want to
killing me.
I don't
hard to watch.
Yeah, I don't want to say obviously, and PFF scores aren't everything, obviously, right? There's so many times, and I've had to teach myself that this year. I've let myself become, I think, too swayed by PFF grades, whereas to the point where I won't even look at certain guys if they don't hit a certain criteria, and then all of a sudden I'll throw on their tape and I'm like, God dang, they are good. You know what I mean? So I got to maybe learn a little bit more from that. But this was a guy, when you watch him on film, I think he's got the tools. Let's see. It'd be another interesting thing to see if Halfley can get something out of this dude.
Yeah. Mike Witt with the super chat says the fact that Goody didn't take a cornerback till the 7th tells me that they worked something out with Jair. All right, let me hit that real quick, then we'll hit the second part of the super chat. I think it was, I remember slapping Tim in the chest live on the air while we were in Green Bay doing the draft party show. And because when it came out that Jair attended the virtual, meetings or whatever this week, I was like, oh, here we go. We're turning the corner. And lo and behold, Tom Silverstein this morning, Silverstein, however you say the name, came out and basically said, no, they're still trading him. They're still looking to trade him. And then information also dropped. I actually put a tweet out. I forgot to put it on the board there, but where it was talking about how they had a trade partner, but Jair refused to restructure his contract to make it easier on the cap for the other team. Now, listen, he signed a contract. He's got the rights to that money if he wants it, right? Ain't nobody has to be able to bully him into that, right? So, to me, it kind of feels like Ja is wanting to stay.
Yeah,
and maybe the team is trying to force this along and move on. But again, I always run that Tom Silverstein stuff through the filter of I feel like that's coming directly from the front office. When he speaks, it's probably coming from Goody or somebody close to Goody. So with that being said, it sounds like they do want to move on. I'm still not ruling out him being here. I know this, they've June 1st, right? That's kind of the post June 1st or whatever, June 1 cut was what they were going to designate anyway. So we're probably going to be talking about this until then. Hopefully we're not talking about it much, but when you get new developments like this, I
agree. So it could just be, like you said, strictly business related. Honestly, if you really read between the tea leaves, right? I mean, we knew Ja wasn't going to rework his deal for us. Why would he do it for 31 other teams? That shouldn't be a surprise. And maybe worked something out, or like Mike's saying here, maybe they worked something out. Maybe working it out is just both parties realizing that you're standing pat, and I'm not going to budge. You can continue to try and shop a deal for me. I'm not restructuring my contract. You want to cut me post June 1, cut me. But hey, I'll play for you guys. I'm ready to go, as they say. But I think it could just be strictly business here. Not a lot of this narrative that surrounds Jair. That's just my take on the situation right now. We'll see.
I did think too, I feel like Goody in the Packers front office, Whereas maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they would have been very nervous about having even the idea of having to play a game without Jair there. But unfortunately, the last 2 years, with his lack of availability and seeing guys that have stepped up and guys that have came, when the numbers get called kind of thing, do you think they have almost a little more kind of ability to stand straight and be like, look, man, we've seen what happens when we don't have you. It sucks. We'd rather have you, but we know we can get by without you. Like the ball's just not in your court like you think it is right now. But in some aspects, I think the ball is, that's what coach was just saying. The ball is in Ja's court because of the fact that he can just, he's holding the keys. He's the guy that can play and won't play, but it's unfortunately, I think we're going to be talking about it for another 30 days.
I know it, man.
Can I ask you this? Do you think if he is a post June 1 cut, right? So his contract's going to go with him, right? If someone else signs him,
part of it, yeah,
part of it, right?
Part of it.
So does that make
no? If the Packers cut him, it's a clean slate. The way that works, the guaranteed money accelerates to Green Bay's current year. If you go post June 1, it's spread out over 2 years, and it's kind of staggered where the lighter hit is this year, the heavier hit is next year.
Got it. So my question would be, do you think it would be just as difficult for Ja to find a new team if he is cut outright? And now we know he's not going to give a sweetheart deal to anybody. Does it make it even harder for him to just sign as a free agent?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you just got roughly 3 months, maybe even 4 months of testing the market, and nobody was willing to give you that. The closest thing came to someone who wanted you to take a pay cut, and you said no. So, Tim, I wouldn't be surprised if he refuses to take less money and he sits on the market for a long time, and then either someone has a catastrophic injury in camp and they go, all right, we'll go pay him because he's a top corner, or Ja gets to the point where like, okay, I've waited long enough. I'm just going to have to take what they'll give me.
Right.
So, again, if it wasn't for Tom Silverstein reporting this, I'd be going, I still think he's coming back at the Packers.
Yep.
But when Tom keeps pushing that back, it's almost like Goody's going, hey, Tom, let's kick that back to the top of the list again real quick. Make sure everybody knows Jair's available. You know what I mean? That's what it kind of feels like without saying it. So, second part of this question, Mike Witt said, or not a question, he just says Stackhouse makes the 53 guys a beast. He said that's a hot take. I don't think it's a hot take. He's talking about this monster right here, Nazir.
Look at that poor quarterback. Oh, my goodness.
This dude was one of the top prospects. I remember 2 years ago kind of looking at it like this dude's going to be a monster coming into the league. Now, he's obviously taken a step back. I don't know all the details around him. I try not to spend a whole lot of time until they make the 53, and then it's like, all right, let's see what we actually got here. But thank you for the super chat, Mike Whip. Here's what you got in Nazir Stackhouse out of Georgia. Obviously, we talked about won a national championship with Georgia, at least one, maybe two. Started in 2020, in 2020 was where his college career started. Okay, he's 6'3", 320 pounds.
Thick.
59.8.
Clayton, you just got muted somehow.
Dad.
I don't know what happened there. Let's try that again. 6'3", 320. Let's go.
There you go. 6'3", 320. Maybe it was Nazir muting me going, hey, buddy, I'm a little heavy.
He's like, I'm 305.
Yeah. Aren't we all? Right? 6'3", 320. PFF grade starting in 2020, 59.8. Then he jumps to a 65.0. Then he jumps to a 73.8. Falls back to a 70.5. Then jumps to a 75.2.
Did I hear a 65 in there?
65%.
65%. That's what we always and forever, Jacob. Always. So, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but for an undrafted free agent, you see these in the 70s here in PFF. Now, obviously, the RAS is a little bit of an issue. Wasn't that explosive. I think if I remember correctly, he had 27 reps on the bench, but he did score. He got no bonus from us. He got a 0 in terms of the RAS bonus. But I think it was Drew D that just pointed that out. Yeah. So he scored like in the 6s RAS. Listen, that's not like horrible, right? We just don't deem it worthy of giving a bonus on our draft board. If he was a 3 or a 4, you'd probably feel a lot worse about it. But a 6 is not like it's. You turn on the tape, you look at the PFF grades, you see a guy who played really good football in college. So I'm not as concerned about the RAS as opposed to like Dumas Johnson, who played bad football last year. But you look at the RAS, go, okay, you see the upside there in the athletic ability, right? So Deadfish says, remember, big D tackle usually do not have high RAS scores. I mean, last year we talked about it. Who was it, Jacob? We talked about Texas. Remember?
Yeah, our big guy,
Sweat.
was it Sweat? TJ Sweat?
TJ Sweat. He had a 3 RAS and ended up.
He was the best D lineman in the draft last year.
Yeah. PFF had him graded out as the highest graded rookie defensive tackle last year. So let's go around the horn with it here. We'll start with you, Tim. What do you think about Nazir Stackhouse? To me, this seems like the dude of the bunch, like Mike Witt was saying with the super chat there. I can see him making the 53, man.
I wish I had the Michael Scott drop, I love it. I love it. I love it. Clayton, you and I were talking about this yesterday before you guys head out. We were like, how did this guy not get drafted? It was like almost like as big a shock as some of the other shocks we had especially in the early rounds of this draft. I love this signing. I was jumping up and down screaming for a D tackle forever. And, I thought we were going to draft this guy. I really did, especially with that big, gigantic G next to his name. You just switch the color scheme and bring your butt up to 1265. I think it works out great. There's a lot to like about him. He's a people mover. And, I think we're getting better. And I don't think it's that hot of a take to think that he makes this team. I really don't. We'll feel a little better once we see a few camp practices and things like that once we get into the nitty gritty after OTAs and everything. But I think there's a very good chance that he does make the 53, or at least retained on the practice squad at the bare minimum. Yeah.
Deadfish says Stackhouse 1 tech, Brinson 3 tech. What do you think, Jacob? Nazir Stackhouse.
I love it. I really did enjoy this. I actually thought we were going to draft this guy too. If you guys remember when me and Emilio were flying solo before the draft, I believe it was Tuesday night, I think. Mm-hmm. He was actually on our list. We went over Nazir Stackhouse as being a late round gem, as well as Colin Oliver. And I specifically said that Nazir Stackhouse just loved him in the run game, that he, they didn't ask him to do a lot in the pass rush game. And typically you really don't when you have a guy like that. But I think that he was probably one of the more unsung heroes on that Georgia defensive line, which is obviously going to happen when you're a big fish in that type of, you know what I mean? The Georgia defense is going to consistently and constantly be amazing. And I think that we may have found us a little gem here. And I think what Drew D is saying, we may have just found our TJ Slayton replacement here.
Could be.
Pretty
Great
nice.
Point, Drew. Great point.
Yep. All right. Next on the list, offensive lineman Tyler Cooper. All right. Out of Minnesota.
I'm sorry, Tyler Cooper looks like Big B a little bit. I'm just going to be real. Shout out to Big B.
Yeah,
I didn't know Big B played a little O-line at Minnesota. Apparently he did.
Oh, man. Big B's awesome, man. What a great dude. So, Tyler Cooper out of Minnesota, guard at 6'6", 310 pounds. PFF grades, boys, looking clean. 2019, 63.2, 74.2, 71.7, 72.9. Run blocking grade 77.4. Pass blocking grade last year 66.3. Not too shabby for an undrafted free agent. What do you think, Jake?
This was this is a guy that I actually really, really did think was going to get drafted. We saw how fast some of the interior offensive linemen fell off of our board, and I'll be honest, that was one that we absolutely crushed that on our board as far as the interior offensive linemen. It went Tyler Booker, Gray Zabel, Donovan Jackson, Jonah, Tate Ratledge. It was almost one after another right down the line. Wyatt Malum was in there. So this was one that I was pretty excited about. I'm surprised he didn't get drafted. You look at those PFF scores, played at the Big Ten school, decent competition, absolutely a giant man for that guard position. I'm very excited, and I would not be surprised if this was another sneaky player that landed on that 53.
Yeah, and we had him in the 253 spot, Tim, on the big board. So right around that spot where it's like, okay, if he doesn't get drafted, he's probably at the top of the heap there in terms of undrafted free agents.
Do you guys know? Real quick, sorry to interrupt. Did he play any center at all? Itchy Soda was asking. I don't remember.
I don't see it. It won't show it here. We could probably pull it up here in a second, though. I'll see if I can go glance.
No, I'm seeing no snaps at center since 2022 on PFF.
Strictly a guard then. Got it.
Yeah, left guard, a little bit of left tackle, not a lot. Left and right guard though, definitely.
Got it. All right. What do you think, Tim? You like it?
Yeah, I do. And I think, maybe one of the reasons that, we didn't draft a guy like this is probably because of the free agency moves we made. We picked up Banks from the Niners. You know, clearly the plan seems to be to move Jordan Morgan to the right guard position at some point in time, or Sean Ryan wins that battle and becomes the starter. I don't know. Too early to speculate. So I totally understand why they went tackle before they went interior when it comes to the O-line, and being able to pick up a guy like this as a UDFA is awesome. Another guy I can't wait to see at camp in those battles on the interior O-line. That's going to be just as fun to watch, arguably, as the wide receiver battles and the corner battles as well at camp. So put that on your bingo card for training camp this summer for sure.
Definitely. Up next, another offensive lineman, JJ Lip. Is that how you say it? Out of North? Is it North Illinois? Is that right? I believe it is.
Northern Illinois. Yep.
Northern Illinois. Is that how you would say the name, Jacob, or would you say Lipe? What would you say?
I was gonna say JJ Lipe. I don't know.
He doesn't
Man,
look like
he looks like a JJ Lip to me.
He does look like I'm with you. This is Oklahoma accent, not or pronunciation, not Mexican pronunciation. So, so JJ Lip is what we're going to call him until we hear otherwise. 6'5", 311 pounds. PFF, not that great. 61.9, 65.8, 53.7, 58.6. However, he does seem like he's ascending into the league with his best year of 74.7. Run block grade 72.2. Pass block grade 75.6. Like I said, overall offensive grade of 74.7. Got anything on him? Anything you boys want to add to Lip here? And he does got, Solder pointed it out, right? Got that C on the jersey, captain. So it's huge, man.
Mm-hmm. I don't have much on him. I haven't seen much tape on him. He's on the list, though. You got anything on him, Jacob?
No. I mean, other than did you have his PFF grades at all or no?
I can pull them here.
There they are right there. So, the 74.7, pass blocking of 75.6, run blocking of 72.2. That's not bad, man. I mean, another big guy, 6'5", 311. We got some big guards all of a sudden. You know what I mean? We got 6'5", 6'6", 300 plus pounds. I'm all about it. We talked about how we wanted to attack the trenches and how it seems like, you looked at this draft, and I think that most of the teams saw that Super Bowl and what Philly did in those trenches, and how no matter what the Chiefs tried to do, you weren't going to win unless you could control the trenches. And there was quite a big common theme when you watch this draft and what people prioritized. And I think that there's an even bigger kind of tip of the hat when you look at what Goody's done here with these UDFAs. These are big dudes on both sides of the ball here.
Definitely. Drew D points out that JJ Lips RAS is a 5'6'9". United Bates pointed out, somebody had asked, where'd that cowboy hat guy go? Jacob Bayer was picked up by Buffalo. So obviously the Bills seen something in him, and we had him in for a top 30 visit. It was Jacob Bayer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, almost positive that was the name. So, maybe the top 30 didn't go good. That could have been what it was.
Maybe they didn't like the Stetson. I don't know.
Yeah, could have been. But appreciate the information there, Bates. You're the man, sir. All right, moving along. We have to go kind of rapid fire. We're almost out of time here. Out of Rice, you got offensive lineman Brant Banks. All right, 6'7", 318 pounds. This is another player that seems to be ascending into the league.
Thick.
PFF grades were 60, 60, 46.1, 61.7. Did not have enough snaps to warrant the minimum, snap requirement in those 4 years. But in 2023, it was 67.3, and then this past year, a 73.7 with a 77.4 pass block grade and a 72.9 run block grade. Really interesting there with Brant Banks. What do y'all think about him? Anything you want to add?
That's a big man, 6'7", 318. A little bit longer in the tooth than maybe most people would like, but at 6'7", 318 for UDFA, bring him in, see what he's got. Definitely shows the progression has been trending in the right direction for the last 3 seasons. So absolutely, bring him in. Let's see what he's got.
Is he predominantly on the left side or the right side? Do we have his snaps or anything?
Doesn't show me on this screen grab. So
okay,
not sure.
Just curious, but it is. It's it's interesting because he's a monster of a man, and just on the surface, looking at the grades, Drew D, no RAS for him. Okay, so with the limited info we have, we can go back and watch some tape, obviously, but really makes me wonder what the plan is with Sheed Walker, man. Because you see these tackles being picked up, left and right, no pun intended. It makes me wonder. Clearly, it looks like the intent is to go ahead and give Zach Tom the bag, as he deserves, and we're content to experiment apparently on the other side of the line.
Yeah.
Unless it's something extreme like moving Zach Tom over to the left side and trying one of these other guys on the right side. I don't know, but I do like it. Adds depth.
Definitely. All right, we'll speed it up here. We got a giveaway to do before we sign off. Up next, another running back. Again, look at the screen grab, guys. Look at the bodies laying back there. Love to see it. Jalen Watt out of Georgia Southern. All right.
Wait a minute. Does that mean that somebody would have blocked for him down in Georgia Southern? Mr. Glover?
I think it means he just ran through somebody's face.
Isn't Travis Glover from Southern Georgia or Georgia Southern?
Oh, why do you got to bring his name up? And you mentioned his name one time, and he'll pop up. You watch.
Emilio pops up behind him with his sombrero in his mouth. What'd you say?
Somebody say Travis Glover? So Jalen Watt, 6'1", 220 pounds. All right. Look at the PFF grades, gents. 69.1, 77.3, 81.8, 76.4, 75.7. So you're looking at a floor of 69.1 and a ceiling of 81.8 with a run grade of 82.3. Obviously not a receiving back. His receiving grade was a 52.3. So another running back. Yeah.
We don't need a receiving back, right? Look at the guys we have that can run that role. I mean, I'll take another pound the rock type of running back, right?
Yeah, definitely. All right. So again, another running back in the fold here. Donovan Schilling in the chat says, I love Jalen Watt. I'm in Georgia, so watch some of their games. Great kid and fun to watch. So he's gonna be battling for a practice squad spot there, right? Hey, who knows, man? He may come in there and take Chris Brooks' job. You never know. Yeah, so we'll see. Up next, you've got cornerback Tyron Herring out of Delaware. 6'2", 200 pounds on the card. That probably means he's 6'1", which is really good size for a corner, right? Obviously, I want to say this. If there was ever a tattoo I would get on my ass cheek, it's this right here. Is that not the coolest?
I was going to ask, what is it?
I mean, it looks angry and happy at the same time. It's some kind of bird, right? I don't know what that would be, but I love their helmets.
They got Michigan.
It's like their athletic or their uniform department just got drunk one night and said, "Hey, let's design a uni here." That looks like a cool logo.
Looks like a pissed off roadrunner.
That's right. Yeah,
I'm digging it. 6'2", 200 pounds. PFF grade 68.6, 66.1, 71.4, 71.4. So not bad grades the last 2 years. They're playing for Delaware. Coverage grade is 70.5 with a run defense grade of 72.5. Looks like Drew D said the RAS pretty low here with a 4.27. So
Drew D is our very own math bomb this evening. I love it. On point. Thank you, Drew.
Got it locked down for sure. Up next, we've got Mr. Julian Fleming out of Penn State. Now, he's a wide receiver. He transferred over. I can't remember which school he transferred from, but I want to say he played pretty good football for another program. They transferred to Penn State, but he's 6'2", 208.
Ohio State University.
That's what I was thinking. So PFF grades, though, don't look good. 63.8, 62.1. Peaked in 2022 with a 67.4. Then dropped back down to a 61.2, then a 54.9. I think they're bringing him out. Got a little bit of versatility here. Wide snaps, 370 with 109 in the slot. And it looks like he had some punt coverage, too, that were 40 snaps. So who knows? Maybe they're bringing him in to potentially compete or give him an extra body for special teams on the practice squad. That might be the case. So that's Julian Fleming out of Penn State. And then the last one here might be the most exciting. Look at this cornerback's arms, boys.
Holy cow.
Yeah, this is Kazir Brown. He's got a nickname. I can't remember what it is. If anybody knows the nickname, throw it in the chat. SDM40. I always knew Clayton was an Aztec guy. There you go. You heard it here first, folks. He's got a nickname. I'm trying. Bugs. There it is. Prince, appreciate that. So everybody got it. Jerry Weiss, Corbly, and Do You Rant. Kazir Brown out of FAU, Florida Atlantic University, 6'3", 210 pounds. There is some versatility to his game, but look at the PFF grades, boys. 69.3, 83.3 in 2022, then a 79.0 in 23, 76.7. So you're talking about in the last 3 years, the floor has been 76.7 with a ceiling of 83.3, a coverage grade of 81.7.
Wow.
And I was thinking there was some versatility. Yeah, there you go. He played in the box 85 snaps, slot 16, only 16, but he was out wide the majority of the time with 535. But on the field goal / extra point block team, he had 50 snaps as well. This is probably him and Nazir Stackhouse are my most exciting or my most interested prospects I'm interested in terms of undrafted free agents. Drew D says Kazir Brown, 7.31 RAS. What do y'all think about him as we round out this list?
I love this. I love this a lot. I'm with you, Clay. This is definitely one of my favorites on the UDFA list. I mean, talk about exceeding the threshold on the measurables, right? 6'3", 210. That's a big outside corner. You know, not a phenomenal RAS, but not a terrible. Drew D points out 7.31 RAS score. I'll take that. Look at the coverage grade, 81.7. That's what you want your corners to do, is be able to cover. Looks a little suspect against the run, but that's okay. You're an outside corner. We need you to be able to guard your man and make plays. Clearly pass rush, not his strength, but I mean, again, coming out of Florida Atlantic, so we don't know, who we've really gone up against really, but this guy is going to be fun to watch at camp for sure. What do you think, Jacob?
Dave C says, Dave C says, Bugs Brown doesn't want anything to do with tackling. Then Donovan Schilling said, you see them arms? He just said he just looks at them and they tackle themselves. That's a low tackle grade. So.
He definitely looks like a get off the bus guy, right?
Look at that. He definitely is. Definitely is. What do you think, Jake?
Yeah, so 6'3", so that means he's what? He's 6'2".
6'2", probably.
Probably about 200
210,
pounds.
really, he's 204.
Yeah. And honestly, that'd be he's one of those tall. If he actually can move, and Daryl says he's too tall, or he's tall for a cornerback. I would agree, but there are, if you can use that weight and if you can use that size, being a tall cornerback has its benefits. I will argue too that I know Ryan is not a fan of guys that are right above like that 6'1" range, because it just seems like they're so, if you cross them over, there's just so much body length to have to adjust. You know what I mean? It's hard to hit that. It's like that 3-cone thing. You're going to be easier to contain yourself and have that kind of quick twitch movement. But man, it'd be fun. It'd be fun to see if he is actually 6'3", 210, you watch him line up out wide. I mean, if he could handle, that I think that the RAS definitely shows he's got a little bit more of a twitch than some guys. SDN 40 says he's got 32-inch arms, 10-inch hands. Dude, that's a dude right there. Drew D is wondering if he could bulk up and play some linebacker. That'd be the only thing that I would say that probably is going to go against him. Is he reminds me a lot. Hey, look at that. Daryl, for once on the ball. He reminds me of Tariq Carpenter, a guy that just, you don't quite know where to put him. And because of that reason, he ends up being put on the sidelines. And it's a tough thing to do there. But
great point there, Daryl. That's a similar comp there for sure. Yeah, there you go. Jordan Dixon Reed in the chat says Richard Sherman is 6'3". Cromartie was also. So there you go. Very, very interesting. All right, so again, there are your UDFAs, how it sits right now. We'll see if anything changes in the upcoming days and weeks. I know we're going to be having a rookie mini camp next week, guys, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, we'll probably get some pictures coming out of the practice facility, I would imagine, right? And get those guys in here. And it's cool. Matthew Golden was there for the draft, and they said that when Matt reached out to him, when Coach LaFleur reached out to Matthew Golden after he was picked, or when they just picked him, he said he was getting in a workout or something is what he said. So is that what he said? Or maybe when I don't know when he reached out to him. He's like, I like to hear that. So this young crop here, man, I'm really excited about it. Somebody said it best on the live stream the other day in the chat. They said, you don't look at any of these prospects and go, wow, those are great picks. But all of them you look at and go, good pick, good pick, good pick, good pick. Like, watch this be one of the best draft classes that Goody has ever had. That would be absolutely awesome. So
for sure.
Let's do a little giveaway. That sound good, boys?
Yeesh.
All right, so obviously this is for the mock draft contest that we had. All right,
There's that pinky wheel back in effect.
yeah, we got it. So here is how it went. All right, we had all of our Patreon members. If you're not already getting the rigged, how can it be rigged? These guys won the contest. Like, what are we talking about? Like, anyway, if you want to join the rigged giveaways, scan the QR code in the upper right. Go to patreon.com /
Come on, Tony. Jeez.
We got, extra content. The article we just kind of went through there with all the compiled information on the UDFAs. That's the type of stuff you get in there. I'm putting together a Matthew Golden Chalk Talk. I'm hoping I can have it together by tomorrow. If so, we'll do a little Chalk Talk on our most recent first-round pick. That will also go directly into the Patreon group because we can't post it on Rumble. So we'll have that in there as well. That's just another, again, $3. The $3 tier gets you access to everything on the side. It's just a way for you guys to support us. So, Greg Rice, see, only 2 names. It's totally rigged. So anyway.
You're an amazing person. You know that, don't you?
We did a mock draft contest with just the Patreon group. Everybody filled out their own Packers mock draft of what they thought Goody was going to do, and whoever was most accurate was going to be the winner. Well, we had 2 people that got 1 pick right, okay? That was Do You Rant. He got the 250th pick correct. That was John Williams, offensive tackle out, I think, Cincinnati, I believe, right? And then Jerry Wise Corbley nailed the number 23 pick with Matthew Golden. So it's like, which one's harder to do? Is it harder to pick the 23rd pick or the 250th pick, right? So what I thought we would do is, since they both tied, let's put their name on the wheel, spin it. Whoever it lands on, they will get the autographed Javon Bullard jersey. And whoever it doesn't land on will get the autographed rookie Bo Melton card. Okay, so that's how we're going to roll. That sound fair to everybody? Y'all agree, or should we do it a different way?
No, I think that's fair.
I think that's fair. At first, I was gonna be like, you got to give it to Jerry. She got the first round pick, but as you just said, it's way harder to pick the 250th.
Yeah,
that's all the guys. Yeah, that's all the people.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Hey, how many times are we gonna shuffle up the names on this one?
Well, hey, I'm going to shuffle it because they will still say it's rigged somehow. Somebody give me a number between 1 and 10 right now.
11.
1 and 10 in the chat. 1 and 10 in the chat. 1 and 10. Between 1 and 10 in the chat.
6. Drew D. 6.
Drew said 6. Now they'll go, he met with Drew D at the draft. Can't use that. Let's use the next one. Give me a number, guys. Give me a number. 10, Donovan Schilling. All right, there we go. We're shuffling 2 names 10 times. Here we go.
Get out of here.
1,
nothing
2,
10
3,
times.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, let's spin this. And again, thanks to everybody who contributed in the Patreon group, and obviously, played along here with the mock draft contest. You guys ready?
Yes.
Big money. No whammy.
Big money, no whammy. Big money, no whammy.
Javon Bullard jersey is going to no one. The pinky. Now let's see who is it.
Oh my gosh.
The closest to Do You Rant, right? All right, Do You Rant gets the autographed Javon Bullard jersey. And yeah, should we spin it again in case he doesn't come forward?
Yeah, right.
All right, so there's the first place winner, and then Jerry Wise Corbley will get the autographed Bo Melton rookie card. So that's the only way I knew to do it. I think that's probably the best way to go about doing it. So
I mean, we could have flipped a coin or something. I guess that's the only other way.
You know what else we could do? We could go best 2 out of 3, couldn't we?
No,
oh boy. Now they're really going to think it's rigged. We're making it up on the fly.
Yeah.
We're done. That's it. So there you go. Again, I thought it was awesome that Jerry Wise Corbley nailed the 23rd pick, though.
Absolutely. I wonder if she had Goot's phone tapped or something, because I'm pretty sure. I think Golden knew at least a day before that if he was on the board, he was going to get picked. So maybe Jerry had some inside information there. Yeah.
So do me a favor. Do You Rant and Jerry Wise Corbley, both of you, send me a DM. I know you're both on the Patreon group. Just send me a DM as a reminder, and I'll get the address that you want that stuff mailed out to. We got a bunch of giveaways coming up. A bunch. We're going to be gifting Patreon memberships. Obviously, everybody in here already a member of the Patreon group. That was in that contest and a part of that group already. But if you're on YouTube and you don't have a Patreon membership, I'm going to be putting a tweet out with the YouTube channel on it, and anyone who retweets that, okay, then they'll be put into a giveaway for one of those full year-long memberships to our Patreon group where you're getting that extra content. Guys, just because the draft's over, we're just gearing up, man. We're going to immediately shift into rookie OTAs, right? And then, of course, the veteran OTAs as well. We got the 5th-year option date coming up here real soon. We'll get a little information on that. We're getting the schedule release. That's coming out. And then we're going to blink, and it's literally going to be training camp. Yep. And everything in the Patreon group is going to stay up to date with stuff geared around that, whatever aspect of the offseason that we're in, to keep everybody plugged in with what's going on around the Packers. So you guys got anything else?
Yeah, it's very crazy. I always pull up PFF and Draft Buzz when I'm on the show with you guys. And today I pull up PFF, and all of a sudden my scouting board completely different. We got a whole new crop. They've got the 2026 PFF grades, and I'm just like, oh.
Let's do a mock draft tomorrow, Jacob. You want to?
Here we go.
I'm not doing a mock draft until January. Done deal. Maybe February if the Packers make it to the Super Bowl, right?
That's fine. That's fine.
Do your answers. Thank you so much. This is so cool. Hey, you're welcome, buddy. Thank you for supporting the show. And again, if you guys want to join the Patreon group, you know how to do it. Scan that QR code or go to patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. People ask all the time, hey, man, I want to support the show. That's the best way to do it. It makes me feel a lot better if people do want to donate to the show, that they're getting extra content. And it does keep the show moving forward. So there you go.
Real quick, I just wanted to thank Pops for the gift, by the way. Clayton, the draft gift. Thank you very much. That was incredible, man. I love it.
And Jacob, you've got one as well, man. A little homemade koozie from Mad Dog himself. So we'll be shipping that out.
Cool. Yeah, fire, man. This is fire. Custom. I love it.
I like it. Oh, and look, we got Jerry Weiss in here. Says, Clayton, please donate the mountain card to your next winner. I only did it to win the jersey.
She said it's only 6 prizes around here.
Cheese curds make my stomach hurt all the time, but I do eat them though.
You know what, Jerry? I think I got something. I think I got a little something stashed away. Let me see what I got over here in the vault. I think we might have another jersey. So, and we had another. Who was it? The one to give away the other day? While we were up there, Jake or Tim, didn't we give away a Robert Brooks jersey? Am I thinking right?
Yeah, we sure did.
I asked you guys to message it to me, and I think y'all did, but now it's buried, right? I think I actually sent it to Mandy. Hold on just a second here.
I hope you did, because I definitely didn't message it to you, so I fumbled that one.
Yeah, so here it was, the Robert Brooks jersey, the giveaway we did the other night live on the stream. Professor Cakes was first place.
That's right. Yeah,
that's what it was.
Then it was Rich Beck. Then it was CJN. CJN's already reached out. I have not heard from Professor Cakes or Rich Beck. Okay, so if we don't hear from them, let's give it about a week. I don't want to, ship somebody's gift off to a third place winner, and then all of a sudden they reach out and go, "Hey, man, I just seen I won." That sucks, So we'll give at least a week.
You can just send it to me, and I'll get it to him.
I was going to say, all of a sudden I'm going to get a message from Professor Cakes, but it's going to be a guy with sunglasses and Athams mustache is what it's going to be. You're like, "Hey, I'm Professor Cakes. Get out of here, Atham. What's wrong with you?" So, all right, I'm in trouble already. I got to get some sleep. Appreciate y'all. Draft was awesome. Hanging out with everybody was great. And thank y'all for showing up. We had a ton of people watching now, almost 600 people tonight. So
absolutely.
Thank you. There you go. It is Jerry rigged. You're right. Nice. See, just that comment there. You're getting a jersey, Jerry. I'm hooking up. That's the line of the night right there. So, Jerry rigged. That's smart.
I love it.
This show sucks so bad. I love it. All right, everybody have a great night. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central. If I can find time to do it, we're going to be doing a Chalk Talk Matthew Golden. It's going to be awesome. We'll see y'all there.
Let's go.
Then we go. We out.
Bye, guys.